In this video, I'm going to use the left join command in R to combine two data frames. And that's going to come in really handy, in particular when we use the Lambda database. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to load the tidyverse into the library, hitting Control Enter, loading the library. I see it loads down here. And then I've got my Lambda database in this folder on my computer. I'm going to use the read CSV command to load the batting.csv file into a data frame called batting. So I pull up batting, and one thing that I notice with the player IDs, unless I know specifically, I don't know who this player is. So if I sort by player, I see that the second one down here is Hank Aaron. I happen to know that, but there's nowhere in here that it says. One of the nice things about the Lambda database, it has a people CSV file that we can use that has names, birthdays, and so on. So let's load people in, and it's going to be in the same directory as the batting, where I keep the Lambda database. And instead of loading in batting, I'm going to load in people. And I can open up people and see that people has the player's ID along with their birth year, where they were born, the first name, last name, and so on. So there's the second one, Hank Aaron. Turns out that the first one I looked at was David Aardsma. There we go. So there's people. The other thing I'm going to use here while I'm at it is the pitching data frame. So I'm going to load in pitching as well. And I use the read CSV command, and the file, the CSV file I'm going to load is called pitching.csv. So now I've got three data frames: batting, people, and pitching. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new data frame called all. And I'm going to use my arrow to load. Anything I do to the right of the arrow is going to load into all. And all I want to do here is take batting, use my pipe operator, Control-Shift-M, and left join batting with people. So there we go. I got batting. I'm going to left join it with people. And the way I read this is batting's the first thing that I'm doing in the pipe operator. So we think about it, it's going to be on the left. People is going to be right. So I've got two data frames, the left, the right. Left join's going to try to take every observation on the left. So think every player year worth of data. It's going to try to find a match with the data frame on the right, people. So it's going to try to find the first name and last name for each one of those observations. So let's run it. And there we go. Notice we go from 45 variables in our all. There were 22 in batting, 24 in people. So notice there's only one overlap. If I look down in the console, it's going to guess, okay, the only common variable is player ID. So it's going to join by player ID. It's guessing on that. If I want to be more specific, well, let's open up all to see what we get. So now with all, every player and year, I get a match with the first name, last name, the city, and so on. All of the data from people are going to get a match with the player year. So if I resort by player ID, there's Aardsma, then Hank Aaron, and we can see each one of those years gets a match from people out here. All right, so what I might want to do, in this case, there's only one thing to join by, and that's player ID. But if I want to be more specific, so let's create all two. I can take batting, Control-Shift-M, left join with people, and I'm going to specify the by, and we're going to specify single quote by equals player ID. So it's just going to do the exact same thing. So all2 is going to look exactly like all. So you have the same number of observations and variables, but I've actually specified player ID. Not important here, but it will be in a minute. So the next thing I want to do is all3. And what I want to do with all3, I want players batting, their names and ID from people, and then any pitching data they might have as well. So in this case, I'm going to take all2 and Control-Shift-M. I'm going to left join all2 with pitching. And let's see what that looks like. Left join with pitching. It doesn't like this little character I have. So let's create all3 where we left join with pitching. So notice when we create all3 joins the batting data with the pitching data. And notice there's a lot of missing because a lot of guys aren't batting and pitching. Notice a lot of times my viewer will only show the first 50 columns. So if I want to show them all, I use these arrows out. This one gets me out to the end. If I add more than, say, 50, this arrow gets me out further. But notice what's going to happen. I get so the problem without specifying the by, let's think about Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw, for much of the data frame, hit as well as pitched. So if I look at Clayton Kershaw and say 2018, he scored a run, he had 11 hits, and so on. And if I look out here, it doesn't merge with walks because walks are doubled, BB are doubled, home runs are doubled. So it's reporting the home runs that he hit, not home runs that he gave up. So I want to be really specific on how I join in this case. So with all4, what I'm going to do is take batting, and I'm going to left join it with pitching, and then I'm going to specify what I want to join by. So I'm going to join by player ID, year ID, and stint. And let's check that out. Let's fix stint. And we can open up all4. And let's go back to Kershaw. And we're going to be able to see that so Kershaw, all I need to do is type in Kersh. I can find Clayton Kershaw. So let's take a look at 2019. We see that now we have the left join was done on player, year, and stint. So now we get how many games he batted and how many games. So for instance, hit.x is going to be how many hits he gave as a batter. bb.x, how many walks he had as a batter. And if I go back out here, bby is how many walks he gave up as a pitcher. All right, so that bb.x and bb.y, bb.x is the left data frame, bb.y is the y data frame. So one of the things that I might want to do to make this more useful is to rename some of the columns. So in this case, we're going to take all four, use our pipe operator, and we're going to rename. We're going to take home runs against is the new variable we're going to create, and that would be home run dot y. Strikeouts against equals so dot y, and so on. So that would be a way that I could rename the x and y data frame variables so that I know exactly what I'm pulling. So in this case, now I see I've got bb.x, those are the walks the player had as a batter, and BBA, SOA would be strikeouts against. So SO.X is the strikeouts batting, SOA we renamed for strikeouts while pitching. So that's the left join command, very useful in combining data frames.